Hello and welcome to this Monday, the 5th of May's edition of The Week Ahead on Dukascopy TV. I'm Sophia Aribo. Joining me to give his views on what the next 7 days will bring is Chris Gilmour from South Africa's Absa Wealth and Investments. Chinese PMI data released on Monday shows continued weakness in the country's manufacturing sector. Trade balance figures are out on Thursday. Chris, what's your outlook on China and how do you think the government is managing the slowdown?
The Chinese government's in a very difficult position because on the one hand, it would like better growth, but on the other hand, it's cognizant of the fact that there are certain bubbles appearing in parts of the economy. So it's a very difficult balance that they've got to maintain here. But having said that, the market was expecting an upwards revision to the PMI, to the manufacturing side of things, to about 48.4, and it came in quite a bit less than that. So this is of concern, and if the authorities don't start doing something to perhaps stimulate the economy, then there are concerns that the growth rate that we're looking at between 7 and 7.5% might not materialize.
South Africa has recently lost its mantle as Africa's largest economy. Jobless figures released today show unemployment has risen. Manufacturing activity in South Africa fell more than expected in the last quarter. Monthly and yearly manufacturing figures are out on Thursday. What do you expect the figures to show, and how does this fit into the bigger picture?
Yeah, it's not good, and we're expecting a further decline in manufacturing, even although we should have the benefit of the weaker rand coming through, particularly when it comes to exports. Unfortunately, we're not seeing the same kind of situation that the Indian economy experienced last year when their currency took a real beating. So it looks as if the manufacturing side is going to stay pretty sluggish, which is a great pity because for some time now the authorities have wanted to try and move this economy away from a consumption-based economy to one that is more involved in manufacturing. And at this point in time, even with a weak rand, it's just not materializing, and that gives cause for concern.
And lastly, Chris, the Bank of England issues its report on quantitative easing on Thursday. A member of the bank's Monetary Policy Committee says quantitative easing has boosted UK growth by around 3%. Do you see this influencing Mario Draghi's strategy at the European Central Bank?
Truly fascinating. While the UK authorities have, as you said, used quantitative easing very successfully, and most notably, when we had the IMF upwardly revising the UK's growth rate from 1.5 to 2.9% a couple of weeks ago, I think that's a very, very good endorsement of the fact that QE does work and did work both in the US and in the UK. The Europeans haven't really gone that route. They've gone the austerity route. And maybe Mr. Draghi is now going to start thinking, well, perhaps it's time to put a bit more stimulus into the European economies, even though they are starting to turn around and show some kinds of growth. I suspect now he may be inclined to go for a bout of QE to further stimulate those economies in Europe which are currently languishing.
That's all for now, but do stay tuned to Dukascopy TV, where we'll be keeping you updated on these stories and more.